Today you're going to hear from Daniel, and he's going to share a little bit about what it was like for him like a year ago maybe when we first came to New Guinea. So Daniel, when you first arrived in Papua New Guinea, did you experience culture shock or stress or whatever you want to call it? And if so, describe a little bit what that was like for us.
I didn't really experience too much culture shock. There was a lot of things that were different that I had to get used to. Like, the smell was really bad. Like, everything smells really bad. It smells like buai and body odor, and just it doesn't smell very nice. And after a while you get used to it. Also, air conditioning was a big thing because it's super hot here. Like, I remember when I first got to the airport and stuff and got out of the airport, I was just really hot outside, and it was just like really bad. And taking showers, because there's no hot water here, so you have to take cold showers with like a bucket and a cup and just dump it on your head and soap up and get done really fast. So it wasn't really culture shock, just a lot of things, new things I had to get used to.
What are some of the cultural differences, would you say, with people, like maybe specifically I'm thinking with people and communication? Like in America we have certain maybe facial gestures, hand gestures. Like when you're talking with someone, there's like the verbal communication and nonverbal communication. Is that different at all here in Papua New Guinea?
Yes, definitely. I see a lot of that. It's different. Like, say if you wanted to say yes, but you didn't want to talk, like say nonverbal, you would just raise your eyebrows like this. Or if you wanted to say no, you just kind of shake your head a little bit, or like show your shoulders. And there's a lot of other things like, what was the one? A lot of them, if you're like doing something you shouldn't be doing, like just like being disobedient, they'll hiss at you. They'll like, you stop, like, or you enough, like just like hissing at you or whatever, which is kind of funny to see. And they're also for discipline, they'll sometimes just pick up rocks and throw them at your siblings or stuff if they're not listening or stuff.
And would parents do that to their kids too?
Parents would do that to their kids too. They'd pick her up and just start stoning their kid if they're not listening. So that's another thing that's different here.
For sure. So what about, earlier we were talking about hand signals. Like for us as a family, I remember being really confused because people do hand signals here, and it's the same hand signals we do in America, but it has a completely different meaning here. Can you think of a few maybe that are like, or not even hand signals specifically, even just there's, again, nonverbal communication where in America it means one thing, but here it means another.
Yeah, I know there's one, I remember, if you want to like stop a PMV or like stop
someone. Oh wait,
in
what's
car,
a PMV?
Oh,
for
sorry.
People in America.
PMV is like personal transportation,
public
like a bus.
Motor vehicle.
Public motor vehicle.
Yeah, it's a bus.
It's a bus that everyone takes. So if they want to stop a bus or like a car, they'll go like this. They'll be like, just stop the car like that.
Okay.
And yeah, they'll just stop the car like that. And what else did they do?
Okay, what if the bus is full? What would the driver?
The bus is full.
He would give a hand signal. Do you remember what he does?
I forget what he does. What does he do again?
He.
Oh yeah, it's like this. It'll go like this.
Wait, we can't see your hand. Hold on.
Like this. Like the bus
okay,
is
so
full.
to stop the bus, you do what?
Like that.
Okay, and then if the driver wants to let you know the bus is full?
It's like this. So they'll just
okay, and I've also seen him do
this. It's like, Or also if you want to wave the bus past, if a bus is like, hey, do you want to get on? He'll wave you past, and you'll just go like this. You'll just be like this, or just wave him past. Like that.
Yeah. Okay, so in America, I know our viewers can't see me, but you can redo this for them. In America, if someone asks you a question, you go like this. It means, I don't know, or I'm not sure. So can you show them, in America, what is the hand signal for I don't know or I'm not sure?
Hand signal for...
No, I just showed you.
Yeah, it's like this.
Wait, we can't see your hand. There we go.
It's like this.
Okay, but here in Papua New Guinea, that does not mean I don't know. Or I'm not sure. That means something else. What does that mean here?
Doesn't that just mean no?
Yeah, it means no.
No.
It means no. So that was a little confusing for us, because if we asked somebody a question and they did that, we thought maybe they were saying I don't know. Yeah. But they're saying no. There's another one in America that means, yeah, that means like, I don't know, or maybe. But what does that mean here?
No, it just means no. Just like
yeah, so I just had a story about that just last week. One of Daniel's friends came over, and I was cooking rice and soup, I think. I think I had some kind of a soup. And I asked the boy if he wanted some, and he shrugged his shoulders. And I just thought that meant he was being shy and that he wasn't sure, like he didn't want to say yes because he was feeling shy. So I gave him a big old bowl of rice and soup. And then, of course, I found out later he brought it out and he said, "I'm sorry, I'm full." And I'm like, "Oh, that's okay." And I think then we started talking. Maybe it was that night. We were talking and yeah, they informed me that that meant no. If you shrug your shoulders, it means no. So there's little things like that, right, to get used to in a new culture, just different ways of communicating. Okay, so what was some other questions that our readers and viewers had? They asked about, they wanted to hear from Daniel's perspective about culture shock. Oh, what did you learn here first? So that might be a little bit overlapping with some of the stuff we've been talking about, different ways to communicate, different ways of nonverbal and verbal. And I guess speaking of communication, probably one of the big first things you probably learned was they speak a different language here.
Pidgin. Talk Pidgin is the language they all speak. Like most people in Central Province know English and they can speak English. But everybody, like all the kids and the grown-ups, they speak Talk Pidgin. And that's a fairly easy language to learn because it's very similar to English language. So you could probably, if you really focused it, you could master it in like 6 months. So I can speak it pretty well and I can get around, and so I wouldn't say exactly I'm fluent, but I can speak it pretty well.
And so do you think that's definitely one of the first things you started learning living here?
Yes, I remember like the first, maybe I didn't want to learn it first in the first 2 months, but like after like 3 months of being here and actually getting friends and hanging out with people in the neighborhood, I'm like, okay, I really want to learn how to speak the language. So I started asking them to teach me phrases and stuff, and then just really a really good way to help it is to listen to recordings, hang out with people that speak Pidgin, and listen to their songs too, because that really helps you memorize them.
Okay, so maybe people want to hear you say something in Pidgin. So why don't you say something like, "My name's Daniel, I'm 16 years old, I'm in grade 11, I'm from America," or maybe like just something like a little introduction, like if you were meeting somebody and they were asking about you or where you're from.
Okay. Name blow me Daniel, me blow America, and
just anything else about yourself. Maybe tell us your hobbies, and like say what your hobbies would be.
Misa like lo play touch one time. Boys the neighborhood section with me.
And what else do you like to do for fun?
Misa lo paiti kita, so misa paiti kita la room with me, the house with me. Misa, yeah.
And when you and your friends are hanging out, what do you guys usually do?
We supposed to go around, go to the store, round number.
Story,
sit down, story. Yeah.
Okay, so good. That gives them a little taste of Pidgin. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I think I want to keep these videos shorter, and this one's longer than my other ones, so we'll stop here. But we're going to make another video with Daniel, and in our next video, we're going to talk about if you, some of you listening, if you wanted to come to Papua New Guinea, either maybe just to visit as a touristy thing or as a missionary, we're going to talk about maybe what are some things that would be important for you to know first before you come. But thanks for tuning into this one, and thanks, Dan.